Well, UPS just showed up. They brought me a 6-pack of the Weldwood Instant Adhesive, and just about was out. A blue box over there underneath that tape rack. It's got the last bottle in there, and Collie said it's time for some new stuff. We got a project going on today, and I'm going to open that garage door and let you have a look at what's out there. As the door comes up, oh my goodness, what is that? That is a pile of red oak logs that are really, really heavy. They're just a hair under 4 feet long, and they're really big. As you can see, there's my hand, so it's like about 2.5 hands wide, or 3 hands wide, probably 3 hands wide. And cut them off my son's property. Anyway, I'm going to be transforming this into a Resaw garage with a Resaw sled on a 17-inch Grizzly over there behind the white box. I'll have to move everything over in the corner and get it stored. The Resaw table's in the back behind that rack in the very back. And I've got videos on the web that show all this going together. But anyway, so that's something I'll be working on probably tomorrow. But right now, I've got to make room for the wood that's cut off of this stuff. So it's kind of chilly out today. I'd say it's probably 28 degrees, something like that. Anyway, I'm going to go down to the shed, and I'm going to move a bunch of wood around. So let's get down there. All right, back here in the very back corner is some cedar, and right over here is some cedar. That all has been done. I only put a sign on it when it was milled, and I think that's an old sign. But anyway, April 20th of 2020. That's last year sometime. Anyway, I do have another sign in there somewhere. But anyway, I'm going to be pulling all this stuff out of the way, moving that out of the way, and then I'm going to take this stack of red oak that I resawed about 6-8 months ago, and I'll move it underneath there so that it'll continue to dry for another 6 to 8 months. And so, 1.5 years, some that's 1.5 inches thick. So, that'll give me a couple of years to get it dried out in good shape, ready to go. And I've got quite a bit of oak in the shop. So, that's the project that I'm working on today. It's kind of chilly today. I don't know. I'm going to check the weather forecast. I'm going to have to put this off for a day or two. I'm retired. So, the old lawnmower's got plenty of dog poo in the tires and the chains, and had the grandkids down here giving them rides, so that thing needs to be cleaned up. Maybe give the old generator a start. So there we go, ready to go. My wife said it was cold out there, and I'm gonna have to agree with her. I may have to postpone this job for a day or so before it gets a little bit warmer. You look at the temperature's rating, or wait for a couple of hours so it warms up a little bit more, because it is chilly out there. Well, that stack of stuff you saw down on the ground, it's kind of driving me. The biggest slave driver is you know who with her toy. Yeah, is it your toy? Yeah, bring it over here. Come here, bring it here. There you go. Okay, here you go. Ready? And she goes, she will do this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. At dark, morning, freezing cold, snow, ice, rain. It doesn't matter to her. She'll just keep on after it. All right, so that is a cord of cedar. And I cut this cedar, I don't know, maybe a 1.5 years ago or so. And right in there in that neighborhood. And, of course, with cedar, you can start cutting it, within 6 months of cutting it, sometimes 3 months, depending on how dry it is. But anyway, it's ready to go. That's the last of that stack that was underneath those benches out in the shop. Or in the shed, and it looks like my tire's kaput. It's finally rotted off there. We aired it up here the other day, and it was flat. So anyway, I know it's been ready to go. So it's funny, you can buy a new cart for the price of a tire and wheel. But anyway, we'll get her taken care of, and I need to go sweep the shed. Let me get this unloaded first. All right, now all that's left to do now is to move that over here and re-sticker it underneath in that area there. So we'll see what we can do with that. I don't know if we'll get it all in there, but we'll try. first section will go in right there. And so let me get my stuff laid down and get it in over there. All right, there we are, red oak, Resaw 4/30/2024. Came off Marshall's property. At the very bottom, I have some other boards from another property. And I used some old pink, cheapo paint to paint the ends of that, see how good a job it does from cracking. Anyway, there's my stickering going back on. And I should be able to get the rest of that in there and get her down. Make room for the new stack. All right, got that all moved. That was cut about 8 months ago. Not quite 8 months ago. And, well, let me put it as a resaw on the bandsaw about 8 months ago. That tree, most of that tree was a standing tree. This piece of, these 5 boards here for Dennis Baker. And I resawed them at the same time. And they've been down the bottom of the stack, and they were maple. So that came out some nice, but anyway, the rest of this is all red oak, and I've got it drying. It'll need dry for probably till, oops, sorry, lost the phone. Probably dry till April, May. Probably give it to May. Some that's a little thicker, might give it June before I get into it. And I'm getting ready to resaw a bunch more of it, and I'll put it in here. Move that stuff out of the way just a little bit and get it ready for that. All right, this CNC table takes this piece is right here, the table supports, the 2 tables, and the sled, and then the weight box. And I get that stuff out, and I'll put what I'm not using back in the corner here and hide it. Got to be careful so I don't shoe in anything that's going to be needed for the holiday. But anyway, that's what I'll do and get that done. Well, I was wondering why it was getting so heavy. That's full of walnut and oak shavings. There's the top that goes on it. Last time I put it on, it was just a little bit tight, so I'd go ahead and reamed it out a little bit. Then I run a V-bit or cleaning bit, countersink bit around the edges to clean it up. So let me go get that dump out into the dumpster. Well, it's always fun to get everything pulled out, stack stuff up to the in the cubbies that you use and get it out of the way. The problem is it takes 30 minutes to get it out, so I like to keep it handy. This cedar on this card will probably be rolled out when I get ready to resaw. And the rest of this stuff, I need to put it up. So let me get it done. Take a break. So next thing to do would be roll that out and see where we're at. And then when the thing goes down, it gets back to the limit. That spider in there turns it all off. No, it actually hits that limit and turns it off. So if I want to go the other way, it stops right there. The weight is pulling 25 pounds of weight and the weight of the wall. Okay, right when it gets to the top of that, it generally will slacken up just a little bit. But I've about got it right before it stops with the limits and goes on there. So and then if you wanted to go into neutral mode, you just switch this little switch over to that, and your variable speed is all done. That all comes over to here. There's a pulse width modulator in there. Controls the variable speed of the winch and all that good shape. So, and this is all controlled by 12 volts, and the switches are all controlled by the 12 volts, and the winch is controlled by the 12 volts and the switches. So other than the 220 on the bandsaw, which comes in through this cord here. It hits that black box down in there, and that black box is plugged into the 220 outlet over there. So the 220 goes here and then only into this cord. There's a relay in there that runs off the 12 volt and comes back over here and feeds the saw. And then of course this is all 12 volt and that kind of thing. So anyway, it works good, bolts up. Like I said, 10-12 times I've had this thing set up, and it is ready to roll. And there you go, 41 years of driving without an at-fault motor vehicle accident. Yeah, I ran over a post or so here and there, back out in the field someplace, but no motor vehicles at fault. That was I charged with anyway.